Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Welcome to the newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, please do subscribe, like, definitely give those thumbs up. It's important to circulate the video and to become a member of this journey of mine to help grow the channel. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you to all the people that have been with me from the start and have subscribed and have made beautiful comments and your questions. Also, feel free anytime that you need to know any information about anything of the pattern or the threads and so on. I'm here to help you, so don't hesitate. We are going to create this master bedroom rug, which I decided to spoil myself a little bit, and this is for my room. So it is huge. Well, I will take the measurements also and let you know the size of it, but it is for a master bedroom, so it's too big for a little kid's room or a smaller room. It's huge. Anyway, so I am going to use an 8-ply with this, and it's 100% cotton thread. As you can see, I mean, it's hard to see on camera, but it's very, very thick. My camera keeps falling out. Okay, let me just... Okay, like I was saying, sorry about that. For some reason, my cell phone was falling out of the stand. My goodness. So this is 8-ply, very thick, perfect for rug because it's heavy enough that it's not going to move when you're placing it on the floor and you're walking. It's not going to slip anywhere. I'm going to demonstrate the middle piece of the centerpiece of the start off of the rug, which is done this way. So it's like little squares with 3 double crochet. So we're going to start a chain stitch of 21 chain. I hope you're going to enjoy the tutorial. So I'm just going to start a few rows, and then we're going to continue with the one I already have made. Okay, so do your 21. Oh, by the way, and I'm using needle 5.5 for this 8-ply. If you have a 6, it's even perfect. So we turn once, and of course I'm using the wrong one for this 4-ply that I'm demonstrating. Turn one, slip stitch, and now from here you're going to do your 21 chain stitch. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so once we've done our 21 chain stitch, we're going to go back 7 space, 1 2 3 4 5 6. On your 7th space we're going to do double crochet, and next space double crochet. So we're going to have a group of 3 here. Next space double crochet, and then 1 2. We're going to skip 1 2. On the 3rd space we're going to do another double crochet. Next space double crochet, and next space double crochet. 2 chain and skip 1 2. On the 3rd space double crochet, next space double crochet, and next space double crochet. So now we have 3 groups like here of the double crochet. 2 chain. We're going to come on the last one, so we're going to skip the 2 there. Even if you had 1 left, it doesn't make a difference. And we're going to do 1 double crochet. Okay, we're going to go up 1 2 3 chain. This is always going to be the same way back and forth. Inside of the square here we're going to do 3. So it's always groups of 3 double crochet and always 2 chain separation. We're going to the next square and create the group. So we'll have 1 row with 4 groups of 3 double crochet and 1 row with 3 groups of double crochet, like that. If your chain is too loose, your separation chain, instead of doing 2, then do only 1, 2 and 3, and again 2 chain. Now you're going to come right on top of the 3rd space here. No, sorry. We have to do our group. What am I thinking? Good God. Sorry about that. Oh yes, people, please always look ahead before you start anything to make sure that there's no errors, there's no change of plans, there's no mistakes. It can happen, we're only human. And not just in my videos, but anybody else's videos for that matter. Always look ahead of the video. So you're going to do 2 inside and 1 on the 3rd space here. So you're going to have 1 row of 3 groups and 1 row of 4. Always next one will be 3, next one will be 4. We're going to be doing 25 rows of this pattern. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we're going to come in here and do the 3 double crochet. So basically we're building little squares. Let's say 2 chain separation into the next square. And in case it becomes too long, I'm sure it will because of all the details on this pattern, I might have to go to video part 2. So, because I'm sure it's not what some of the details on the pattern, I'm sure it's not all going to fit in one video. It will take too much space, too much room in my camera, on my cell phone. So you lock it up on the 3rd space, okay? So this is what we're building. So you'll have first row of 3, second row of 4 groups, 3rd row 3 groups, next row 4 groups. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to go to 25 rows. I'll meet you at the end of the 25th row, and then you can cut your thread. Don't forget your 25th row has to end up with the 2 squares at the end. We started this way. We have to finish this way, and not with this. We have to finish with the 2 squares as we started at the end. Okay, so let's say you have your 25 rows. Now I'm going in with the black. So I have burgundy, black, I have peach, and cream that I'll be using for this. These are all size 8. Let me tell you, it's a big challenge working with an 8, because if you don't get it right into the hole as you're closing in, all the threads, you know, it pulls on them. It's like a little bit of a nightmare, but it's a beautiful job at the end. So basically you'd come on the first square, and we're going to do this row with, trying to hide my thread here, single crochet. So we're going to have 2 single crochets and 2 chain separation, and this is a way much slower pattern because the thread is so thick. I cannot, even if I dare try to go fast, there's just no way. So this is a way to really slow me down. Okay, so 2 singles, 2 chain separation, 2 singles, all in the same space. 2 chain separation. No, sorry. What am I talking about? This row is all of single crochets. I don't know why I was thinking. And this is like, I really have to make sure to be careful when I'm pulling through so I don't pull the other threads. So it's a little bit complicated. If you don't want it as huge, 6 ply would be perfect to work with this. It's way much thinner, and it still gives you a good size of a rug. By the way, people, I just measured it earlier, a few minutes ago. It's 1 meter by 72 centimeters wide. So inside of the square, we're going to do 2, and then 1 per space of single crochets. Only on the corners we're going to have 2 single crochet, 2 chain separation, and 2 single crochet. So 2 inside of the space and 1 on each space. So this has been a real challenge doing this rug. By the way, people, this is my creation and my design. So 2 chain separation and 2. You see what I'm saying? Like it really pulls in all those threads together because it's a very thick thread, but it's just perfect for rugs. So now we're getting into the side. So in the side, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do the 2 double crochet. So you're going to follow through all the way to the end, all the way around actually, and just do the 2 singles on the corners with 2 chain separation and 2 singles again. Okay, so pretty much do yours, I'll do mine, and I'll meet you at the end. So we're going to have just singles all the way around. 2 singles, 2 chain, and 2 singles on the same space. So we're going to do that on the corners the same way, and I'll meet you here at the end. Just want to show you that we're at the bottom edge so you don't get confused. So where we have the double crochets, we need to do the double crochets. Just make sure that you don't get confused. So we have 3, we need to do the 3. We overlap the double crochets from the previous row and 2 inside of the space. I have to say this is my first time using the 8-ply, and it really has been a challenge, even though I enjoyed so much creating this piece. But it has been a challenge for me working with it. I'm not used to it, never have worked with this with the 8-ply. 1, 2. It's very nice, but you have to be very slow and very careful. Maybe it's my needle. Maybe I should have had a 6, but I don't have a 6 on me, and the stores are all shut down, so I'll have to use what I have. So then you continue on your sides again and put 2 on each space, like that. So I'll meet you at the end. So you're going to come to the end and you're going to close it in on your first one that we started. Of course, my stitch is always so hard, and then with an 8-ply, not an easy task, is it? So we're going to cut this one off. Try to tuck it in through here and then split the thread and then give it a knot to make sure that nothing is going to come apart, because especially on these pieces that are so thick and heavy, that you want to make sure that all your loose ends are tied in. So just leave it a bit of a string and give it a knot to it, like 2-3 times, you know. Make sure that everything is secure. And then of course your leftover, well, you can just cut all the leftover pieces. And then just tie it in like that. Okay, now we're gonna work with the cream. also an 8 ply. So now we're going to come on the corner and we're going to go right in the middle here where we have the chain stitch. We're going to do 1 double crochet, so a single, 2 chain. Inside where we have the single, we're going to do another double crochet. It's always hardest to get the first lines in, you know. Once we are up on the rows, we're better. It goes easier. So we're going to do 3 double crochet like that on the corner. And now we're going to do 1 chain. We're going to skip 1 and we're going to go into the next one. And we're going to do again groups of 3 double crochet until the end of this row, because we're on the side row, and we're supposed to have 13 groups of 3 until the end. I'll meet you at the end. 1 chain separation, skip 1 and into the next one. Again, doing the groups of 3. Like that. So I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so we have 13 groups starting from the corner here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right to the edge of the corner. We're going to do 2 separation, and we're going to go right on top of the first stitch here of the group on the edge. We are at the edge, and we're going to do 3 double crochets, 1 chain. Now we're going to skip 1, 2. On the third space, we're going to create another group of 3. One chain, again, skip 1, 2. On the third space, if your chain is too tight, then you can give a 2 chain separation. If that works for you, then that's fine. One chain, we're going to skip a space, and we're going into the last one. So we're going to have a group of 4 double crochet on the edge, and whatever you do on one side, you know you have to do it on the other side the same way. Just back it up. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and again 1, 2 chain. You turn it into your side, and you go in the first single. I have to be careful on pulling my threads because this 4 ply, as 8 ply, really pulls all the threads apart. So 1, 2, and 3. So you're going to have 13 groups on this side, and on the other side you're going to have your 4. So I'll meet you at the end of the pattern, of the row. So we've reached the end, the corner. We're going to do the 2 chain, and we're going to close it on the third space up here. Hopefully I can get my needle through it. It's such a thick needle and tight stitch. It's So we've closed in. Now, I call it the walk. Right in the middle, we're going to walk through it with a slip stitch into the first square on the side. So make sure you have your 13 groups on each side, okay, and 4 groups at the edge. We come to the middle, the first square, and we're going to do groups of 3. So this is basically the next few rows are going to be always the same on the sides. We're just going to add on the edge corners when we get to them. So we're going to do 3. If you need to do 2, then you do 2. If you can do only 1, then we're going to do 1 separation. But if you see that it's too tight, then you do a 2 chain separation, okay? That will work out. Whatever works best for you, doesn't change anything on the pattern. So you don't want it too loose either. You want those holes to be nice and firm, because we don't want too much space to get our toes stuck in them either. So we're going to do groups all the way to the end. Just before the end group, I will come back to you and show you what we're going to do next, okay? Okay, so we're getting into the corner. We do our 2 chain separation. We're right on the corner, remembering everything we do on the side, on one side, we do on the other. Everything we do on one edge, we do on the other. And everything we do in a corner, we have to do the 3 corners the same way. So there's no point in me keep recording the same thing over and over. So we're going to do 5 double crochet inside of the space here in this corner. So you know that the other 3 corners will be 5 double crochet also, like that. We're trying to round up our corner. 2 chain. So you do your 2 chain. Now the edges, we're going to have 5 groups only at the edges of 5 double crochet, because we need to round up the edges, right? So on the first square at the edge here, we're going to do 5 double crochet. We have 4 and 1 more, 5. So you have 5 there, 5 here. You're going to have 5 here, 5 and 5 at the corner also. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 5. 2 chain. And 5 double crochets. And make sure I'm grabbing all the threads, because it will all come apart if I don't. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 chain. Next space. And then we're going to proceed the sides the same way, the groups of 3 double crochets with 2 chain separation. So basically what you're doing on this side now, you have to do it on the other edge. One, 2, come to your corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to do the side 1, 2, so nothing changes. It will be the same thing, and we're going to do the other edge the same way. So you're going to have your 5 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1 in the corner, 1 in the corner, and then 3 in the middle. I'll meet you at the end. So you continue with your side ones, just like we did here. And then at the edge here, we're going to do the same thing as we did here. I'll meet you at the end. So we've reached the end. We're going to do our two chains. We're going to close it in the third space here with a slip stitch. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 also. Now again, we're going to walk, I call it the walk with the slip stitch, to the middle of the first square, well actually the second square I should say, and go up 1, 2 with the single we did here, makes 3, and continue the groups until the corner, until the edge. As soon as we get to the edge, I'm going to come back and show you how we're going to proceed the corners again. People, like I said, if your stitch is too wide, then cut down to 1, okay? If it's too tight, then put 2. So this row, especially because of my corners, I did a 2 chain, but now I'm going to cut down to 1 chain. I don't want the holes to be too big. I want it to be nice and firm. We don't want toes to be sticking through the pattern, okay? Okay, so we're on our side. Now we have 1 square left before we hit the 5 double crochets on the corner. And we're going to have always 1 row with the group of double crochet inside, and 1 row exactly what we're going to do now. So 1 chain separation, we're coming into the first one here, and we're doing only 1 double crochet, 1 chain. We're coming where we have the 5 double crochets, and we're doing 1 double crochet on top of each double crochet from the previous row. The only thing is the last double crochet here on the group of 5s, we're going to add 1 at the end. So that means we're going to have 2 together on the last double crochet here. Okay, so instead of having 5, 2, 4, 6, next row we're going to have 7. Next row we're going to have 8. We're always going to add 1 at the end here. 1 row will be with 1 double crochet here, and the next row we're going to have the group of 3 in here. Okay, I'll show you when we get to it. Anyway, so 1 chain, and we're doing the double crochet over double crochet on the 5 double crochet. This is the edge, and we're adding always 1 in the end. We need the pattern to loosen up, to largen up at the edges, so we have to add 1 double crochet on the last double crochet here. So you're always going to have the same amount, 6, okay? 1 chain, and we continue on with the double crochet over double crochet. And don't forget that the edges, we need to do only 1 double crochet like we did on this side. So I'm going to just finish up over here and show you, and you repeat the same thing on the other edges. So double crochet over double crochet and adding 1 at the end. I'm sure that needle number 6 or even 6.5 would have been perfect for this, but I don't have it, so I got to work with what I have. So you add 1 at the end. Now, okay, we still have 1 more here. And I'm going to let you know how many rows we need to do with this cream color the same way before we change the stitch. So there's no point in me recording all the other rows that are repeatedly the same way. I'm going to show you on the other pattern what I'm talking about, so you'll have a vision and understand. Okay, we are on our side now. 1 chain. We're only going to do 1 double crochet here. one chain, and we come in and do our group. So you have to do the same thing at the end of the row here, exactly what we just did. One chain, and you continue on. So all four corners, you're going to have only that one double crochet, and not one chain, one double crochet. So you're going to have your double crochet here, your double crochet there, and also before you hit the end, you need one double crochet here and one double crochet here. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end and explain to you the next row, because the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so including with this one is row 7. So we're going to have 7 rows of cream, counting from the first one here. 1, 2, 3 until 7 rows, but I'm going to do one more here with you so you understand what I'm talking about and don't feel lost. Okay, so we're still on the same row. We're almost hitting the corner. One chain, and you do only one double crochet here, like that. One chain, and you proceed with your 5 double crochets, and adding one more on the last one will give you a total of 6. We are on row 3. And we're going to add one more in here. So you're going to have a total of your 6, and proceed with the same ones. I'll meet you here at the end. We're only going to do one double crochet here. Okay, so we're almost on the closing. One chain. We're going to come on our first double crochet here and do one double crochet only. One chain, and we're going to close it up on the third space here. If I can pull all my thread through it. My stitch is always very tight, so can you imagine, people? Okay, so we have one here. Now, again, I call it the walk. We're going to walk right in the center here so it doesn't show any stitch. And we're going to go right into the middle. And single crochet, we'll go up to a chain. And proceed with our groups of 3. So we are in row 4. One chain. For some of you, it's 2 chain. For some of you, it's 1 chain. It really doesn't make a difference. I put 2 at the beginning because I didn't want it to tighten up too much from the start, or else it's going to crumple up on me. And now I do the 1 chain only, so it can just be nice and flat and not too much of open holes on the pattern. So continue yours and I'll continue mine. And like I said, people, if I see that it's taking too many memory, I will have to do 2 or 3 videos on it, part 1, part 2, part 3, if I have to, because you know I don't want to explode my cell phone either, you know what I'm saying? It weighs too much on it, takes too much space, and then I still have to upload it and everything and edit it, so it's a lot of work to get these videos done and out. You know what I'm saying? So I'll meet you almost at the end and let you know what we're doing next. Okay, so we're almost where we have that 1 double crochet. Now the next rows are always going to be repeatedly the same thing. So we go in it, we do 2 double crochet and 1 on top of the double crochet from the previous row. So you're always going to have, there's 7 rows, okay, including this one, 1, 2, 3, 4 until 7. You're always going to have, now the next row you're only going to have 1 double crochet here. The next row you're going to have 2 inside and 1 on top until your 7th row, and you're always going to add 1 at the end on your groups of 5 on the edges. So it's very simple, not complicated. So 1 row, now this row all the way around will have the 3 groups. 2 inside of here where we have the 1 and 1 on top and all 3 corners. The next row will be the same thing as this row. We're only going to do 1 double crochet and not 3, okay? And then the edges will have, next row, this row will be 7, next row 8, next row 9, next row 10, and so on, okay? We're going to have 7 rows. So we are in row 4. We have 3 more rows to go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 more rows to go. So I'll meet you at the end of row 7. Okay, just going to confirm here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, row 7. So I'll meet you at the end of row 7. So we pretty much finished doing row 7 from the cream. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to have a recap. So first row, just 3 groups and 2 chain separation. Second row, 3 groups, and third row, 1. Fourth row, 3 groups. Fifth row, 1. Sixth row, 3 groups, and seventh row, 1. We're going to cut our thread and change it. If you're changing colors, I'm going into the black. So you want to make sure that you give it a nice knot on your patterns. When you're cutting your thread, give it a nice knot to it. So bring your thread to one of the loops back here. And I always like to knot my patterns so nothing comes apart. So I'm going to grab a few and separate them because this is an 8 thread. Just like that. And then give it a nice knot, like 2-3 times to make sure that nothing comes apart. And then just pass a few through some of the loops here just to hide some of them. And cut the excess because you already pretty much give it 2 knots, so nothing's going to go anywhere, and it gives you the perfect finish. Okay, with the black, this row, which will be row 8 from the cream, is very simple. It's just double crochet throughout the whole row. So this time I'm going to start it here at the edge. Right here I'm going to start. You can start pretty much where you like, but I'm going to start there. Just so we don't keep having a line of the beginning of the stitch. I like to alternate time to time, so we don't have that markation of the stitch going up. Okay, so we're going to grab back loops only. So you would do a single and then try to hide your thread. We're going to do 1 inside where the space is. So very simple, it's just double crochet all the way around. And of course, when you get to your corners here on the edge, you need to add your two inside of the same space. I think the perfect needle for this would be like a 6 or even a 6.5. I think it would be much smoother to work with and wouldn't grab so much of the threads. But unfortunately, I don't have those needles, so I gotta work with this. So inside of your last one here, you have to keep adding, so you have to put 2 inside of the space, 1. And we follow through the same way all the way around. Whoops. And I think I didn't grab properly over here. You see I'm missing like a little thread wasn't grabbed. So I have to go back to it. That's the worst part where you don't have the right needle for it. Okay, so we try that again. Okay, so I'm going to meet you here at the edge on the sides so you don't get confused. So do your edge the same way, 1 in the space of the squares. So we're still on the edges. Always put 1 in the middle. Okay, I don't want you to get confused. Still working the edge of the pattern. And I try to alternate a bit my needles because, and they're the same size, because this one is a little bit heavy on my fingers. And time to time I alternate just so I can relax my finger a bit. But the other one hurts. And this one is a much softer material here to compress since I tighten too much my stitch. It will hurt the fingers with the other one, so I do a couple and then come back to this one. So you have to do your 2 inside of the last one there. Okay, so we are on the side and 1 per space. Always grabbing back loops only. So nothing to it, very easy row. And I'll meet you at the end of this row. So 1 double crochet per space and 1 inside where the squares are. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Don't forget grabbing back loops only. You don't have to, but I think it gives it that nice style design. Okay, you guys, so we pretty much came to the end of the last one. I'm just gonna grab it a little bit more in the center. I don't want to grab it just a loop because it becomes very heavy. And then grab it with the smaller needle to get through it. My stitch is always very tight. Okay, we're going to cut our thread. go through it here like that. Turn it to the back. Just pretty much pass your thread to the back. Some of the threads still here from when we started. Okay, and then you split to give it that knot. Oh, why does this look so dark? Good God. It's still bright daylight outside, but I guess my phone lighting camera is like not the greatest. Too many recordings, it's giving up on me, I guess. So give it a few knots and pull some of the stitch here. One here, one there, and we should be good to go. So I'm going to give it one more knot here. Just want to make sure that when you're going to wash this, nothing's going to come apart. This is all hand wash, people. You should know that. Anything with cotton, and also hand dry, or you'll damage your pieces. Okay. Okay, I am going to check how much memory it has taken to see if I'm going to continue the rest on the second part. I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, so we're going to do again one more row here with the salmon color, and this is a little bit touchy, so you need to pay attention because this is a side poof. I'm going to try to work it in. If I can't get it with a big needle, I'm going to have to go with a smaller needle. Problem is that it pulls in all of the strings, but try our best. Anyway, so I'm going to start here, and I'm going to start right here at the edge. And of course, it's always tough, my first stitch. I'm going to close it in with a single, pull my thread back here, and we're going to give it a nice stretch. Okay, get you a little bit closer. It's a little bit tricky here, and we need to do the poof, so we have to go in 3 times. Okay, so I know I'm going to have a hard time because this is a very tight stitch here, so I'm going to try it. I know it's probably not going to work out. This is a way much smaller needle, so you need to stretch it out well to give it the same height. So that's twice. One more time. So now we got 3. You're going to skip. Okay, so we're on here. You're going to skip this one. You're going to go to the next one. I think I'm going to need my other needle for this to pull through before I pull all my thread through it. I want to find out in the right. I did. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, so you skip one, you grab back loops only, and you bring the string up to the same size. Now, you have to go through it. Of course, I got a bunch of thread here. Okay, and you close it in with slip stitch. So you're going to have your first side poof. You're going to do 1, 2 chain. On the same one that you closed, you're going to come back in and do your poof. 1, give it a nice stretch. 2, and 3. You're going to skip 1. You're going in the back loop into the next one. Give it a nice stretch. And now we need to pull through all of them here. Of course, you know, I'm working with an 8 thread. This is a little bit tricky because my stitch is always so tight that it's ridiculous. So I have to redo it again. Okay, give it a little bit more of a loose. So I'm going to give it a little bit more of a loose. I'm going to come back into the same stitch that we closed. 1, 2, 3. Skip 1, going to the next one. Hopefully I get it this time. Woo, it just came right out. It's always the first ones that's hard to get in. But once I get the feel of it, then I'm okay. So I'm going to pull on here and pull this thread with it and close it with a slip stitch. Okay, so now you got your second, you have to cut the thread from back here after. So now you got your second one. Okay. So we have the second one. We're going to give it 2 chain. So we've closed in 1 and another one 2. We're going to come back down where we closed off. Okay, so make sure you come in the middle there. Give it a nice pull. 1. Trying to hide my thread, that doesn't help too. Oops. Thread gets in the way. So we have 2 and 1 more, 3. We're going to skip 1 and go into the next one. And you have to bring out the thread the same height. So we're going to try to pull in through it. Of course, I have so much thread going on here. Try that again till I get pretty much the feel of these threads. Okay. I got to give it enough loose. That's the problem with me. My stitch is always too tight. Oh wow, came out in one shot. Look at that. I never learned to loosen up my stitch. Okay, so 1, 2. So you come back down to the one you just closed and you give it a nice stretch. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to skip 1 and we're going to go into the next one and bring it out. Good God. I gotta give it more loosage. Bear with me, people. My stitch is always very tight. And I had the same issue with the other pattern when I created it too, until I smartened up and loosened up my stitch. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. This needle is not the proper needle for it too, so that doesn't help. That's for sure. Okay. Close it in 1 and 2. again. I'm going to give it a try with this other needle. I always rotate back and forth. So we're going to grab right here in the middle where these stitches, 1, 2, and 3. We're going to skip one, going to the next one, and we're going to pull right through it. Well, that went much better. 1, 2. So you have your lying down, poof. Give it a nice little stretch again. Come back into the same one here. 1, 2, and 3. Skip one, going to the back loop of the next one. Just grab it, because this is not the right size, so it just pulls right in it. Close it in, 1, 2. And again, last try here. 1, 2, and 3. Skip a space and go into the next one. And close it all together. 1 and 2. I have to cut some of the threads that when we started, get it out of the way. Okay. And we're going to do it one more time just so you don't. And if you have to pause and replay, then you do that. Of course, that replay ain't going to be too funny because I was stuck with it. Okay, so 3. Skip 1. We go into the back loop of the other one. Pull it to the right size. And pull it through. And we're going to do that all the way to the end. And this is the lying down poof. I'll meet you at the end, so don't forget. You must give it a nice pull there, and you have to come and grab it from the one that we closed here. 1, 2, and 3. Skip one, grab the back loop of the other one, and close it in. 1 and 2. I'll meet you at the end. By the way, actually, we are going to meet on the second part of the video, so I'm going to leave it at this because it will take too much time, too much space on my cell phone. So I'll meet you in part 2. Thank you so much for being part of this, joining with me and creating this beautiful piece. It's very simple to make. It's just a little bit more delicate in this situation here, especially with me. I don't have the right needle, and this is a Nate ply, so my needle really gets through those threads. But besides that, it's a beautiful pattern to make, very simple, and it's gorgeous. So I'll see you all in the second part, and thank you so much again for your support. Much hugs to everybody. Thank you. I'll see you in the second part. Bye-bye.